In our last video, we talked about the new moon, and maybe you, like me, sat in the silence and lit a candle in the darkness and thought about what we are hoping for, what we're longing for, what we want to happen in our lives over the next few months, and certainly over this next moon cycle. And so we wrote those down on a piece of paper or on a bay leaf, and we folded them up and we put them under that candle. If we think about those movements, if we think about the new moon as being like the womb, then the waxing crescent is like the first tiny heartbeats. The waxing crescent moon is the first movements, the first tiny movements toward the intentions we've set under the new moon. If you want to learn more about the waxing crescent moon, stay with me. Hi, I'm Jilly. Welcome to my channel, and welcome back if you've been here before. And welcome to the Moon Magic series, where we're working through each of the 8 phases of the moon. And this is the second video that I'm recording. It's about the waxing crescent, which comes just after the new moon. Now, all of these phases, all of these videos in the Moon Magic series will be listed under a playlist called the Moon Magic series. And don't forget to click on the link in the description, because over on Buy Me a Coffee, I have free handouts to go with each video. So let's talk about the waxing crescent. The waxing crescent moon begins the day after the new moon. And it is a period of about 7 days. And what happens during this period is that the moon moves far enough away from the sun that the sun just catches the edge of the moon, and that's how we see that crescent. And that crescent begins as a tiny little sliver, only about 1% illuminated, and goes to 25%. And I think it's really it's really symbolic of hope and return of the light. So spiritually, what are we doing during the waxing crescent? Under the new moon, we set our intentions. And under the waxing crescent, I would call this a fine-tuning period. This is a period of 7 days where we're kind of thinking about and committing to and fine-tuning or honing that intention that we made. Maybe when we set our intention, it was a little bit too broad, and we want to make it a little bit more focused for this 4-week period that we have in this moon cycle. It could be anything else. Maybe under this period, you think, wait a minute, I think I want to change this. I think I want to do this instead of that. And this is our first step of forward movement. It's about doing the next right thing. If the new moon is the ace in the tarot, then the waxing crescent is the 2. We're still kind of making plans. We're just getting ready to take that first step, and taking towards the end, taking that first step. It's about encouraging our seeds of intention. The new moon is all about intention and inner listening and gaining clarity. And the waxing crescent moon asks, what step feels both meaningful and doable? What step can I actually nurture in this moon phase? So some of the feelings you may be feeling if you're learning to live more lunarly and more by the moon phases are during this phase. Of course, we tend to feel more hopeful. You also may be kind of balanced with that, feeling a little bit unsure and sort of wanting some encouragement or looking for signs of confirmation. So I just I want to warn a little bit against that because we have to learn to trust. And I know that's hard because I'm walking this with you. I know. But these are still like really early days. If we want to look at the tarot cards, now I think that the ace is kind of like the moon. It's that first spark. It's the idea that we get to even write an intention down. But for the Waxing Crescent, I think that any of the page cards, because the pages they're the learners of the tarot. And then here is the two of wands, where this is where we are. We're like standing at the gate. We can see what's through those two wands. We can see it, and we're planning for it, and we're taking the first little steps toward it, but we haven't walked through yet. And then I think this is a really good card for the Waxing Crescent, and it's the Magician. We have the power within us. We have all the tools we need within us to make this intention real. Crystals you could work with. You can work with any crystal you want, any crystal that means something to you. Clear quartz is an amplifier, so certainly that will work. Carnelian for motivation, and oh my gosh, let me think. I think citrine is good because citrine is about our solar plexus, and so that is all about our, I just said that we feel hopeful but kind of unsure, and we may want some confirmation, and that's kind of coming from our solar plexus. So working with citrine would be good for that. I think anything that is grounding and also brings a sense of hope, or I don't know, even like compassion and self-love. So rose quartz might be a really good stone to work with right now because it's gentle, and this is sort of a gentler phase. What are some of the small actions we can take during this phase? Well, we can totally keep saying the intention out loud and writing about it. We might want to, if we have more than one intention or more than one step to get to our goal, we might want to prioritize, which is the most important thing I can be working on right now for the next 7 days. And then whatever that thing is, you might need to send an email, you might need to make a phone call, you might need to tidy a little corner of your space. And maybe it's just to start an outline or light a candle. One of the things I've learned in my Zen practice, as well as in practicing witchcraft and in learning to live by the moon, is we light a lot of candles. And it's an important step. When we light a candle, something changes. It signifies a change. It's a time marker. And so lighting a candle and saying your intention again, even though you lit a candle under the new moon, you can do this every day. Light a candle, say your intention, just sit with it for a while, because as we sit with it, as we sit in that stillness, and we're open to the universe, to the great whole. That's kind of where that fine tuning comes in. Something may occur to us during that meditation period, during that period of stillness, and it doesn't have to be any great allotted time. It can be just 5 minutes, but something can come to us during that time that we think, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I need to fine tune this. So if there were 3 things, and I wrote them down, 3 things that you can take away from this video, I want you to take away that the waxing crescent is the first visible sign of the return of the light. It's a symbol of hope. That small steps matter. That we don't have to make any big grand gestures. Just these tiny micro actions are helpful. Choose one of them. Choose just one and work through it. And the third thing is that momentum begins with intention, not pressure. You may have heard me say this before, and you will hear me say this again. My dear Reiki teacher said something one day in one of our classes that has stuck with me ever since, and that is that energy follows intent. So if we have right intention, if our intention is right and we're committed and we're devoted to seeing it through, we will see momentum. If you want to share your small steps in the comments below, please do that, or share that you did take one small step toward your goal. And don't forget to go on over to Buy Me a Coffee and download your free worksheets. And don't forget to look for the next video in the series, which will be the first quarter moon, which will be happening next week. Until then, please take care of yourselves and know that I'm truly thankful for your presence here. Walking this path together is a lot easier than walking it on your own.